Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
And we're back. I was going to make sure I hit the button. Josh said mute. I was going to mute you for a second to get to and. We're back. Yeah, so it's like in motion. I forgot. Gonna do it now. It's the Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us this morning, Monday morning. Truly appreciate you doing so. Right in the middle of the summer heat wave, but there's a lot of hot things going on because, of course, in the video game world, it's that time. It's the former E3, should have been E3, should always be E3, but unfortunately, it's not E3 time period for all the video game presenters and console makers and a PC and everybody out there that's looking for new games coming up this fall or next year. And then also, as well, of course, a big fight at the box office, which we'll discuss first, indeed. But we cover the world of pop culture better than anyone out there, and we do it twice a week. We want to go ahead and give a big thank you to everyone that's checking us out, of course, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and everyone out there. Our radio stations, thank you so much for playing them. Everybody listening, thank you as well. And a big thank you, a big surprise. I'll go ahead and share in a minute, and a big thank you for you guys and gals as well. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without a good friend. He is, of course, the mastermind behind Humanican Media. Go ahead, the plucky gamer, all the good stuff that he does out there. Please go ahead and check him out on all those sites, including what he does for us here at the PCC. It is, of course, my good friend, Josh, the Great Peterson. What's up, man?
What is up, dude? So we talked yesterday a little bit, right, about the Microsoft. All right, we're gonna get into that.
Yes. Gotta save that for the back half.
I gotta throw something at you this morning. All right.
Okay.
So you know how I'm always going on about like journalists, like all they do, like these younger journalists, all they want to do is get on to the internet and talk trash about people.
That's pretty much society in a nutshell. Yes.
Critiquing, right. So this journalist, all right, goes by a British journalist, goes by the name of Janet Murray. Recently got online and posted a little review about House, little retro review. All right, here's and I quote, right, late to the party, but I've started watching season 1 of House. And then she goes on to say, name this formula, right, where she says Hugh Laurie gets diagnosis wrong, Hugh Laurie gets diagnosis, patient nearly dies, Hugh Laurie gets diagnosis wrong again, gets threatened with being fired, patient nearly dies again, Hugh Laurie has last minute left field idea, gets diagnosis right, doesn't get fired, 8 seasons of this. And she puts in a little question mark there. So all right, we watch House, and that's not like far off the nose, I guess, but like,
no, that's actually an accurate description, but it's episodic television, my friend. You had to make 22 episodes a year. If the chance it would be formulaic is pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about any show though, right? Like CSI, person dies, we're gonna figure out who did it. That's the whole formula, and that went on for like between the different variations. There's probably over 1,000 episodes of CSI out there. Same thing, Law and Order, right? The Pit, ER, Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. So the best part about this though is like not often do the people in these shows actually like make a comeback, right? Like comment on the critique of them. Hugh Laurie got online and did. So he let me read it verbatim. All right.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And he says, and I quote, "Thanks for your critique, Janet. We actually tried a couple of episodes where House gets it right the first time, but they were only 6 minutes long. NBC wasn't happy. Then we tried some where House never gets it right and the patient dies. The audience wasn't happy. One could apply your trenchant analysis to other art forms. J.S. Bach wrote 30 Goldberg variations on the same chord structure. Frida Kahlo painted 50 portraits of herself. Henry Moore, what? The point is, or was, variations on a theme. If all you see is a hospital, medical, blah, 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 then this wasn't meant for you. Signing off. Lori ended with a flourish. Nonetheless, I look forward to your first novel.
That's funny. That's Hugh Laurie to a T, everyone out there. That's if
I
you
know, but
know him,
yeah.
that's him. Go ahead, my friend.
But this is sad, man. This is what journalism has become. It's like I don't know if this is what teachers are teaching now because they're like younger teachers, but like the idea of journalism being the art of just talking trash about somebody here's back when we were in school, and I'm sure before that too, is that if you didn't like something, you didn't write about it because there's no passion in writing about it, unless you were assigned to write about it. So, and then you just left it alone. But now people are like, they're looking as if they're trying to like zero in on things that they don't like to talk trash about. It's crazy.
I know that's the way the world has become, my friend. Seriously, but again, it's formulaic television. It's 22 episodes per season. Uh, that's the thing. That's why I gravitate towards, and I think a lot of people have gravitated towards streaming episodes because I understand there are only 6 to 8 episodes usually a season, sometimes a little bit more, but
Yeah.
usually you don't have to follow that stringent formula because of it, Josh. And it's
Right.
just that simple. I mean, you don't have to have the same thing presented on a weekly basis because you're not in it for such a long period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I just wanted to go ahead and thank, though, Josh, and I just made you aware of this also on the weekend. We have had a tremendous upswing in our subscribers to our WordPress site, popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. So a big, huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to us recently. We are most indebted to you for doing so, and hopefully we provide and continue to provide good stuff there on the site as well, Josh. So that thought I'd make sure and let you know as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. I'm glad people are still looking at the old stuff.
Yes, but I post stuff every week, so hopefully they get a chance to check it out indeed. But Josh, there's much to talk about this weekend at the box office before we get into what's going on with Non-E3. I do want to go ahead and start off with the surprise winner. And after all these years, and after you talk about critic proof. You've always talked about movies that are critic proof and the critics and all that, how there are just some movies that people just will not listen to what the critics have to say or not care what the critics
Right.
have to say. I think the Scary Movie series
Yeah.
qualifies under that aspect, yeah, and it got a little tired, after Scary Movie 5 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago. It was also out of the Wayans' hands by that time. But I guess cooler heads prevailed, and the Wayans are back, and they have outperformed a lot of expectations. Again, we have another movie, Josh, that outperformed expectations. A Scary Movie this weekend domestically at the box office, $55 million at the box office. I think people were estimating maybe 20 to 25, and it destroyed those estimates. Your thoughts, my friend, on why the Scary Movie has still retained its audience? I believe it has a 37 Metacritic. So again, this is a movie people are willing to see, and they know not everything is going to hit when they see Scary Movie.
It's because people are tired of not having funny movies in the box office. And like, granted, Scary Movie, that entire franchise at like the very, very low part of the totem pole when it comes to like clever comedy, but like we haven't had we don't get funny movies anymore. Like everything's political, it's social. Like we don't get stuff like this anymore.
The
That's
Naked
sorry, I'm not.
Gun reboot, I think, was probably the closest thing.
Yeah, but we don't get films that are like in the vein of like The Hangover, American Pie, things like the raunch coms. That's what Scary Movie is. Like we don't get that anymore. And I think that's where like everyone's talking about how like, oh, the Wayne said, they don't care if people are offended or not. And I think that we need to have more, not sorry, I'm not trying to say that like I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think I'm trying to say like we need more people who will make movies like that because there is an audience for them. Not to say that like, crass humor should be a part of everyday life, but people do need to laugh like that every once in a while.
I agree, especially in the certain climate that we're in around this world. I do
Yeah.
believe that is correct, and the way people are at each other, just angry with each other on a regular basis in
Yes.
this world, and I think we can all use the time to laugh. So I get it. I get you with that, and I believe that was reflected this weekend with Scary Movie.
Yeah. But I mean I'll I'm not gonna run to the theater to watch it. Maybe I'll check it out when it comes out. But, like, it's just refreshing to have people finally because remember what's his name that made The Hangover said they asked him if he'll ever make another Hangover or not Hangover, another comedy again, and he goes, "No, because right now that's career suicide." And so I think there are people who are like, I'm glad to see there are people who are out there willing to risk that.
Absolutely. Is it Paul Feig? I think that said that. Yeah, I think it's Paul Feig.
Todd Howard? No, Scott. Todd something how
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yes. Yes, I
Todd
think you're
Phillips. Sorry, that's
Todd
who I was
Phillips.
thinking
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah,
Todd
yeah.
Phillips.
Todd Phillips. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was
Because
so
he
great.
he went on to make dramas, and he's gone on to make dramas since then. You're right on that one. So Scary Movie does take the top at the box office with 105 million worldwide. It did great overseas as well. So kudos to everyone involved with Scary Movie. Looks like it's going to at least be a big hit. Whether or not it has staying power, we'll wait and see. But yeah, a big first week for Scary Movie, and I have a feeling we'll see another turnaround for some scary movies coming up here in the next couple of years as well. Behind it though is not as good a story as the movie that needed to do well this weekend. They just don't learn, Josh. They just don't learn. And I'm sure Rob here, if I got Rob McCallum on, he's going to defend it because he saw it this weekend. But Masters of the Universe, a very high budgeted movie, almost $200 million, came out 29 million and 25 million. So a worldwide 54 million take at the box office, Josh. And this movie was the people were hoping for a 60 to 70 million type of return domestically, and it got less than half of that per se. Your thoughts on Masters of the Universe? Why it didn't resonate with audiences? Is it the Jared Leto effect? I got other reasons I have in mind, but what are your thoughts on why Masters of the Universe did not resonate with audiences?
I was like, I don't know where the Jared Leto effect is coming from because I don't think that really has anything to do with it. Like I just just
Morbius, Tron Ares,
yeah, no, I get that, but I mean, we've been casting like crap actor. I mean, not to say he's a crap actor. I
Blade
think
Runner 2049 actually to an extent as well. Yeah, because that wasn't a hit either, even though we love it.
he
So,
he's what's refreshing about Jared Leto is that he doesn't care what movies he's in. He wants the most diverse portfolio he can get. So he'll try anything and everything, and it doesn't always work out well for him. But the man doesn't pigeonhole himself into roles. But I don't think that has anything to do with the movie. I think that we're just like nobody knows what Masters of the Universe is, right? Like it's a franchise for people who grew up in the 80s and beyond that, beyond the what it's done for Netflix with the Kevin Smith cartoon, it's what is it? Like a lot of you ask a lot of modern kids what Masters of the Universe are or is, and they have no idea. So I mean, maybe it was the wrong time to make something like this, but also like, hey, it looks cool. I mean, I guarantee you, if I went to go watch it, I would come out giving it probably about an 8. I feel like because it's a popcorn flick. But
with a lot of jokes added, by the way, as well.
yeah,
Maybe
I'm
people.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, I think that the issue is that people just don't know, the modern audience doesn't know this property. And I think that's the biggest problem.
I think that's true. I think that they can't relate to it. I get that. I understand it. And we're seeing a shift as far as the movie going audience is concerned because younger audiences went to go see Scary Movie. They didn't care that it came, or even if as old as your age, your demographic, which saw scary movies in the theaters. But scary movie, the concept is really not that hard to figure out if, for younger audiences who didn't see the previous scary movies. So it wasn't really that hard to figure out. But yes, Masters of the Universe, a lot of people were saying that this is their dad's type of movie. This is their grandfathers. This is their moms and or their grandmas type of film that they want, to go ahead and see. And I just don't, like I said, it's such a risky venture. They did this before in the 80s and it bombed when they made Masters of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe before. And they didn't get it right then. And it looks like they didn't get it right now. I think that the occasions that He-Man has resonated in our pop culture is when they take a look at it from the way it was originally made, as far as goofy, as far as very not serious at all. Because the classic cartoon itself is not serious. It was very hokey
Yeah.
in its effort to go ahead and bring a product out there. It was made on a shoestring budget. You could see the same animations that they made in virtually all the episodes. The one with he's running, there's a three movement deal where they made that same animation on every single episode. And
Yeah.
with Skeletor, that's the biggest mistake and the biggest whiff right there with Jared Leto, in my opinion, is missing
Having him play, or how they portrayed him.
how they portrayed him. Not, they asked him to do it. They asked him to Frank Langella it and do it seriously and do it from that, do it from a thespian point of view instead of the way that he resonated. Again, I point to the Geico commercial, Josh. How many times have I talked about the Geico commercial that was made in recent times with Skeletor stealing the scene, stealing the episode, stealing the commercial from beginning to end, as far as because he was portrayed as clever, and he was also portrayed the whole thing was portrayed as hokey but cool. Skeletor was portrayed as really cool and likable, and they just don't get it when they make it like this, and it's really disappointing for He-Man fans, because Skeletor is they don't like He-Man as much as they like Skeletor. Out there, okay, can you realistically tell me that the character that has resonated for all these years is He-Man over Skeletor? No, Skeletor was the bad guy that you kind of liked. At some point in time, you probably wanted Skeletor to go ahead and get him in the end, even though he always ended up getting outwitted at the end. If ever, like I said, a formula, if that's the case. But I just think, again, they just don't get it when it comes to how they portray Skeletor, and the times they do. That's when, like the Skeletor meme, I saw it all over the place earlier this year, as far as it's concerned. The meme, that's the type of Skeletor I think would have resonated so much better. But this property, like you said, is so old that it's so hard to refresh it for a newer audience. And how many times have we seen Hollywood do this, where they try to refresh and repackage these older IPs for a new audience, and it has come up dry or short?
Yeah. I think that there was a time for He-Man, and I think that that time is past, because like this is the sad thing, right? That when the generation of people or kids who grew up on He-Man are, no longer interested in this stuff, or they're, God God hope it doesn't, hope it doesn't happen for a long time, but aren't around anymore. Like He-Man just will not have any cultural footprint any at all in right now. So I mean, I don't know how you go about like reviving this property. I don't know what you could do to make this property feel fresh, but I just think it's a just the concept of it is a concept for Saturday morning cartoons, which people just don't watch anymore,
Yeah, I agree, because they don't have them really anymore to as much as to the extent that they did back then. And I get that. I understand it. But yeah, just the way that it's a miss. You have to portray Skeletor to an audience that can relate, to an audience of today that can relate. And the meme audience relates to a funny, cool Skeletor, as far as it's concerned, and you just chose to go ahead and do the evil baddie of the week on it, like, and it's not even the base. What I've seen, and I'm going to go ahead and check it out this week. What I've seen is, again, similar to what the Franklin Jella did. And as far as not saying it's a bad performance, it's just a thespian performance instead of what we saw. You could have used the original voice actor who is still alive and could have done the Skeletor, because he still goes to, I believe he's still on the convention circuit, if I may be incorrect on that or correct on that.
Yeah.
And use his voice, and like, that's because that's all Jared Leto was doing, was just his voice. And yeah, it just absolutely was a miss, I think, on most accounts. And they, I don't think people wanted Master of the Universe to try and out joke Scary Movie as well.
Yeah. It's that was definitely a weird box office battle, wasn't it? Like that's
Yes. Well, we'll see what happens later this week with Disclosure Day, my friend, from Steven Spielberg, who's talking about aliens and how real they are, and every other day.
We got to talk about that, man.
we will.
That's
We'll talk about it.
What? Okay, all right, yeah. I just I have thoughts on just how strange that is. All right. Anyways,
Yes.
Sorry, keep going.
No, we will talk Disclosure Day, because next week, this weekend, it debuts at the box office. So we have to go ahead and talk about that, and all the surroundings of what Steven Spielberg has talked about. So it'll be interesting to see. But do you want to go ahead and mention the two surprise hit horror movies? Backrooms did drop like a normal horror movie does in its second weekend. 68%, got about $26 million here domestically at the box office, but its Obsession, again, that only dropped, if it dropped for the first time, Josh. We talked about how it's one of the few non-Christmas movies to get advances 3 weeks in a row. It finally dropped, but it only dropped 7%, which is outstanding. And you know what I'm crediting that to? Word of mouth, and B, the movie company out there hitting YouTube hard in recent weeks. I saw more ads for Obsession in the last week than I have in the time leading up to the movie being released, Josh. That is smart and effective, and it's paying off with a massive hit for a movie made under $1 million.
Okay, hey, let's circle back to the Backrooms for a minute. And yes, Obsession is it's great. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of signage actually for it out here, at bus stops and stuff. So I mean, that was very well marketed.
That's it. That's over $200 million, by the way. And that was only made for $10 million, so it's a huge success. It's a huge success as well. So,
well, I mean, 224 million for Obsession, and 212 million and some change for Backrooms. Here's the thing though. I've noticed that the YouTube generation, and sorry, I don't mean this super harshly, but the YouTube generation is a bunch of dummies, man, because we have this beautiful opportunity, right, for a YouTuber nonetheless to make money doing something that he loves, right? Making this thing with full of creativity. It could possibly create a renaissance in film, right, where more creative people are coming up and making these movies. We want this thing to do well. We want it to make money. But you have all these kids going into the back rooms and they're filming the entire stinking movie with their phones and posting it on social media. How is that going to help this make money? Oh, I just want a few views, but you're ruining this, because when that goes viral, you're going to have 1 million people who don't go to see this movie.
Like Obsession, my friend, I've actually already seen every video chapter of Obsession. It's already found on YouTube as far as it's concerned. I've already seen all the killings. I've already seen all the twists and turns of Obsession on YouTube. So in essence, I've seen the movie. I've seen about 35 minutes of the movie, but they pointed out the various highs and lows of the movie, and I've already seen it as far as I can. So I can definitely tell what you mean. But it was actually wasn't a cell phone view. It was actually shown in a style that was first cut, to be honest with you. Just wanted to let you know that that makes it even more interesting as far as what you're saying.
So on that note too, so it's a twofold problem, right? You have people who are walking into movie theaters to film things, and how do you stop that, right? Do you like have people turn their cell phones in, or like how do you do that? Do you like you can't
I'm not. No, no.
you can't
Keep it.
you can't. There's no way to stop that, right? And then on the other hand, we have like the first cut looking footage. It's either somebody in the studio leaked it, or you have these the video they don't movies aren't delivered to theaters via like film reel anymore. They
Mhm.
come on hard drives, right? So I mean, you plug the hard drive in and basically you have the projectionists who don't make a lot of money are copying the movies. Like that's how a lot of the pirating happens. So it's a and how do you stop that? Like how do you prove somebody did some? I don't know. It's a really bad system that we have right now, and I think it's going to continue to get worse. But like I honestly I think that we talk about the box office not being as strong as it once was. I think that this is in addition to streaming, this is also a problem that people aren't talking about.
The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, which is also a YouTube of a different kind for kids, a YouTube artist and YouTube channel that's been very successful for kids. That actually debuted fifth, and it's also not very expensive at all. So that's another win right there. That was even ahead of Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's getting pummeled
Okay,
by Brent.
okay. Let me ask you a question real quick.
300 million for so far for Star Wars, and it's not looking good. Go ahead.
You have had what 2 weeks now to like kind of let the Mandalorian and Grogu
It's
sit
3
in
weeks. Yeah,
3 weeks.
weekend.
You're it's been 3 weeks since you watched it. Has your opinion of it changed at all?
No, it's just another season of it should have been another season of Mandalorian Grogu. It's just there. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't good, but it would have been the third or fourth seasons, in my opinion. It was nothing one iota. Not anything has changed on it, despite its financial failure at the box office for Disney.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was just curious because like I've heard from other people that it's like, they go, "Oh, it was fun."
It's there. It's okay. It's again like you talked about with a popcorn flick. It's a popcorn flick, but when
Yeah.
you watch it, if you watch the series, you'll feel like you can episodically break it up into episodes and go from there, and thought it would have been better served as another season of Mandalorian. That would have been my
Yeah.
opinion.
Okay. That
Uh,
makes sense. That
again, if you watch it from that aspect, I wasn't trying to, but I just felt that way as I'm watching, and I felt like, man, that's another episode right there. Oh, let's
yeah.
get into another episode. Yeah, see, it just felt like that to me when I was watching it. But after that, Michael still hanging around at seventh place in the box office, earning another $7 million domestically. It is at $888 million worldwide. It is number two at the box office for the year. It looks like, Josh, it's going to creep past Bohemian Rhapsody at $910 million to become the biggest music biopic of all time. It looks like it's heading in that direction. All it has to get is what 20 some odd million more. So I think it can do that.
I'm I am pleasantly surprised by this one. Not surprised. I it it it's cool, right? Like I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's cool to see that this many people have gone to see this movie. Like it's he Michael Jackson, whether no matter what your opinion of him, he was a cultural icon. And like this is it's good to see people are watching movies like this.
And the last thing we'll cover before we hit the break is that the Super Mario Brothers movie did
Woo!
creep over $1 billion. It's at $1 billion and $29,000. So we had barely crept over
I,
that. I have a feeling if it got close, Josh was going to go out there and spend.
I
hey,
would have taken out
hey
a
kid,
loan.
I'm
Yeah.
buying this ticket for you. You need to go inside. Go watch the movie. Go watch the. Hey,
Hey,
mom,
hey,
go
but
ahead.
who called it? Who called it? Who called it back when
You
we talked
did.
about projections? I
You
did.
did.
That's
You
right.
did. You did. And so it barely made it over the $1 billion mark. It's still about $400,000, $400 million less than the first one, but this still has to be considered a success for Universal indeed. But again, just a great time at the box office, breaking it down. The big win for Scary Movie. Please let us know your thoughts on the battle at the box office, the high of Scary Movie, the low of Masters of the Universe, Backrooms and Obsession still earning money at the box office, and so much more. Michael looking like it's going to be the biggest biopic, and of course, $1 billion for Mario. Let us know your thoughts, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Well, 1/2 hour down, 1/2 hour to go here on the Pop Culture Cosmos. It is Josh the Great Peterson, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this and truly appreciate it. Well, Josh, we're almost done with the not E3, could be E3, should be E3, but it is an E3 scenario as far as the period is concerned in early June, because Nintendo is coming up tomorrow, of course, conveniently timed after our show here today. So if there's anything big, I'll ask TJ if we can get on the air and go ahead and report something, my friend. But with that, I wanted to ask your thoughts on this. Starting off with the PlayStation State of Play, TJ and I covered it on Friday, but I wanted to hear your thoughts. Again, you have a PlayStation 5. I have yet to find a reason to buy a PlayStation 5. We both gave it lukewarm, about 6 to 6.5 out of 10, noting that Wolverine looked like Wolverine. The new God of War looks okay. And after that, there wasn't a whole lot to write home about as far as PlayStation State of Play. Your thoughts, my friend, on PlayStation State of Play?
I mean, there wasn't anything announced outside of like the God of War game, which I'll get to in a second. There wasn't really anything announced that we didn't know was coming. You know, like I think that's the biggest disappointment here is the fact that there was not really any surprises. And you look at it, and yeah, the games are cool. I'm not saying the games aren't cool, but it's just like it's nothing that like blew me away, right? We knew Onimusha is coming out. They had talked about Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis, and also, did you know that Legacy of Atlantis is not just a remake, but it's actually being remade as a sequel to the Survivor trilogy?
Yes,
That's
that's
interesting.
correct.
I have no idea,
And
but
plus, they're making another one on top of that, just to let you know. On top of
yeah, I forget what it's called. Starts with a C. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, these games they look okay, I guess, but nothing that like really took my breath away. Like, yeah, I'm excited to play God of War Laffy, which I didn't know was coming, and that was a neat thing. I mean, what were your thoughts on that? I don't think we needed 20 minutes of gameplay, but I
no,
mean, I thought the idea is cool.
but especially because 2 minutes of it was a black screen
Yeah,
after the funeral pyre scene. And why is the change from Faye to Laffy? If you can explain that to me.
I yeah, there's not really like that was just her like name as a frost giant, I guess. Like that was her, they don't
Okay,
yeah,
I
but
know.
um
Because they don't really go into it well, so I just wondered. But you're right. 20 minutes into it, getting to meet Jack Quaid as a gelatinous cube, and we did see a lot of the combat, which looks very familiar, and it looks like it's going to do God of War type things. I know that people will be divisive, and people are divisive on it because of who's starring in it. But this was something that was rumored out there, and the rumors are true, and it just seems like a natural progression or a side story
yeah,
that they wanted to delve into. It seemed like there was an opportunity to do it. They did it, and they're trying to delay to go get into more Kratos,
yeah.
and there you go. It just seems like that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, like I don't have an issue with it. It's just it's the timing. I guess people are looking at it from like the timing perspective, right? Because we're living in this like weird time where like there's not a lot of male protagonists in video games anymore. So people are like, "Oh, you're taking away Kratos," but that's not even the point. Like Cory Barlog is a good like storyteller, right? Like he gets
Mhm.
involved in projects only if there's a point in doing them. He's not going to do something just to make a social or political statement. He's making things because he likes stories, So
Yep.
I'm 100% on board with this. It's funny though. My wife, like we were sitting there watching the State of Play. Her least favorite part of Daredevil is Deborah Ann Wolf. And then as soon
Really?
as soon as she opened her eyes in the gameplay for this, my wife goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna watch you play this game."
Fair enough. Because that's who stars in it as far as
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So again, what did you rate the state of play, if I may ask?
I mean, I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I said, it didn't blow me away. It wasn't terrible. It's just like it was there. It was okay.
Okay. Same here.
Well,
It wasn't super bad, but it just was disappointing. I think for me, as far as being able to get, I want a reason to buy a PlayStation 5, and I didn't find one. Again, Insomniac's Wolverine looks like the way Wolverine is, but I'm not as big of an X-Men fan as you and TJ are. So again, that resonates to what you guys do and love. And God of War Laufey. I have God of War on the PlayStation 4 and think I'm good with that. I just don't have a reason to buy a PlayStation 5 yet after all these years, and I'm not sure if I ever will. And I'll be disappointing because no announcement of Uncharted 5, no look at Intergalactic. Until Dawn 2, I was telling TJ I thought the character models looked like The Sims 2026. So I
mm,
thought that was that. Why? I didn't realize that the first one made a lot anyway, so I guess it did. So
yeah,
they have
that
a
was a unexpected trailer.
yeah.
Like I thought that we were done with that series for a little while.
So was I, but they found a smaller team to go ahead and do it instead of super massive. So there you go on state of play. But again, for me, it was a 6 out of 10. TJ was a little higher, 6.5, and Josh a little higher on that. What do you rate PlayStation State of Play? Please let us know in the comments below. And then, of course, some Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest happened, and you and I had this conversation way back. It's almost since we've been here almost 10 years in the mid 2010s, with venture capitalism, buying and snapping up a whole bunch of developers, and just a lot of closures and lack of success for a lot of titles. It seemed like double A, and we had quoted this on the show. The double A titles had gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say, although not many things resonated with me, I am giving this a thumbs up because of the fact that there were a lot shown, but a lot of double A games were shown. These are not a lot of these titles you cannot consider triple A titles, but they are still titles that people can look on, really get excited about, and look forward to. But again, it tells me, Josh, that the double A video game, the not high tier, not triple A, humongous budget type tier, but the double A, got some backing, studio that has some length, life to it, are bringing some really good things to the video game world once again. It's good to see. That's what I got away from Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley, was that it's good to see the mid-level games finding their own success and finding a way to possible success in the future with gamers.
Yeah, what's great about it is the fact that yeah, we have like basically the AAA studios, like they're becoming relics of the past. Because I guarantee you, we haven't even seen like the tip of the iceberg in terms of like closures. I hope that Asha Swarma, is that her name? Swarma?
Asha Sharma, yes.
Asha Sharma. Like I hope that she
About
can
to say shawarma.
Swarma.
Oh,
Saying Avengers. um, I hope that she can turn the ship around, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I think we're getting to a point where the double A studios and are the lifeblood, or even the like the small indie studios are becoming the lifeblood of the video game industry, because there's not a lot left besides them that are free to like do their own thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad they showcased all of that. My biggest issue with the Summer Game Fest is that it was so stinking long, man. And
yes.
I am sitting here right now, and I, off the top of my head, I can only remember probably 4 games that were showed there.
The Resident Evil Code Veronica remake got a lot of attention. Cuphead announced, the makers of Cuphead has announced a 2D adventure and a sequel coming to Cuphead. Alien Isolation 2, which I know you probably is one of those games that you remembered. Project Robot, Blood Message, Stranger Than Heaven. That's a game that people have been looking at for a while now. That
Yeah.
finally got a release date of January 15th of next year. Hayeks, a lot of people were looking at that game as well. Dead by Daylight, teasing it upcoming 10th anniversary. Mortal Shell 2, Sand, Raiders of Sophie. Yes, a lot of these games that I'm going to talk about. Of course, they did have Black Flag resynced as far as it's concerned. As far as another look at that, The Last Ronin, Gundam Rogue Orbit, an extremely hard game, which is a funny title. Crossfire, which did a lot of marketing after they showcased it at the Summer Game Fest, so they're really pushing that as far as Crossfire being a different type of military shooter. Again, Control Resonant got a September.
All
Also,
all three game conferences showed Control Resonant. Like we know it's coming out, guys.
Well, again, it's the other thing I got from, again, Galactic Racer from Star Wars, End of Abyss. 2 different Star Trek games in development. Just wanted to mention that as well. I know that, of course, our good friend, as far as Barkhouse Ross, as far as they're concerned, she is going to be very, very happy as far as that's concerned, because as being a Star Trek fan that she is, Melinda Barkhouse Ross. So with that, though, I also noticed that because of the GTA 6 effect, my friend, a lot of games are targeting. They are targeting
Spring, right? Oh,
September. They are targeting September or next year as their games of choice. And we'll talk about a move by one game to next year here in a minute. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that a lot of these games, September is going to be a very busy month indeed.
yeah. So I would one okay, a couple standouts to me though from the summer gaming. Obviously, Final Fantasy was awesome, and it surprises
Final Fantasy 7 Part 3, by the way.
Part 3. Yeah, it's Revelations is what it's called. But yeah, it comes out in spring. Like I didn't even realize they were that far along in the production of that game. But so 2 things that I want to talk about specifically. The Gundam what's it called? Gundam
the new Gundam game that came out that was announced there.
Rogue Orbit, where you have Gundams fighting kaiju. Like that is such a clever idea. Like I've never even in my mind pictured something like that,
Absolutely.
But and then they have the Virtua Fighter Crossroads, like where I always sat and wondered, like I loved Virtua Fighter as a kid, and I remember like spending all this time trying to earn money to get Virtua Fighter 2 on the Sega Genesis, and that's been one of my all-time favorite fighting games for a long time. But now you have this story mode where you're interacting with an environment, walking around from place to place, and then you go into do like fights and stuff like that. It's such a clever idea, man.
Star Wars Zero Company, that also was announced. Several other games. Man, there was, like you said, there was just so many to count at Summer Game Fest. The last one I really want to touch on is the Blood of Dawn Walker, my friend. It's coming out in, guess when? September.
So Witcher games, right?
Not ex-Witcher devs, yes.
Yeah.
And that looks very interesting. They also, as you know, a couple weeks ago, the actual Witcher devs, CD Projekt Red, announced a DLC that's coming to Witcher 3 here in the not too distant future. But yeah, just that's something. If you want to take a look at a possible surprise hit, you could look at the Blood of Dawn Walker, because I liked what I saw from that game. But yeah, Summer Game Fest, I'd have to give it a solid 7.5 or an 8 personally, because of just the fact, yes, there were so many games. I get it, I understand it, but there was a lot of quality there. And again, it gave me hope for the AA size of company, as far as it's concerned, of developer, that the AA developer is back, and you don't need to have a backing of a publisher, huge publisher, in order to get you by these days.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need more smaller studios popping up and actually like taking us back to the story-driven experiences that we love,
Last but not least, that we can cover of the major, because there was also PC gaming show, indie shows, and there's a lot of stuff that was announced over the past week or updated on over the past week as far as different shows, and I salute them all for being on that platform. But the other main big showcase that people want to not talk about are what would happen with Xbox Game Fest. Again, Nintendo's State of Play we'll have to discuss on either Friday or next week. But
Yeah.
as far as Xbox Game Showcase, I'm much higher on it than you. I think Xbox is back. I don't want to say all the way back, but I've Xbox. I thought it was a great showcase. I'm giving it an 8.5. As far as is concerned, I like what I saw. I know that you have certain bones to pick. They did move Halo Combat Evolved, added 3 new Johnson, Sergeant Johnson, excuse me, Sergeant Johnson related uh, I guess levels to it. That's new, and they're infusing that into the game itself. But that is getting a late July release, which I think caught everybody off by surprise, which is ahead of the 25th anniversary of Halo. They also mentioned Fable, which had a good look. What we saw at the showcase, that's being pushed back to next year because of GTA syndrome. And we saw a lot of other different things as well. State of Decay 3 was also finally given a 2027 start date. And exclusive games are coming back, at least in some small form. The major announcements that Clockwork Revolution, that'll be coming out next year. That is an exclusive. And Gears of War E-Day, which I thought looked the best game in the entire showcase for the entire week, was Gears of War E-Day, hands down. They did a developers walkthrough. Now, this one, I loved watching the entire half hour of it, Josh. I think Gears of War E-Day looks fantastic, and I'm ready to buy it when it comes out, I believe in September as well.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I agree. I think E-Day looks great, and it doesn't, it looks fresh, but doesn't look like it's deviated a lot from the Gears of War that we know and love. So I think, I applaud them there. I hope that I saw Dom was back, and then the guy they showed in the end, if I remember correctly from the books, like he's a big part of the story. So like
They mentioned Dom's brother as well, who
yes,
was a big
that's
part of
right.
it. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I mean, I always like that relationship between Marcus and Dom, and there's a lot of emotional depth there. But yeah, I mean, that game looks great. I think my biggest beef with the Microsoft showcase as a whole was the fact that they did not show anything new. Like all these games that they showed, we have seen already. Like we
They had some
knew
world
that.
premieres, but they weren't of the level of that you're looking for. That's probably what you're
Well,
trying to say.
but there's nothing, no like big surprises for like huge things, like, oh, there's a Halo 7 or whatever coming out. They didn't have anything like that. So, and then we get to Halo, right? And they show us almost like a joke trailer for Campaign Evolved. They don't really talk about like what the future of Halo is, and that's kind of what a lot of people want to hear. And then like why they end with like Call of Duty as like the tent pole like ending trailer. Like I don't know why they do that. Like Call of Duty is not, it's it's just Call of Duty, right? It's the same thing every year, just like dressed up in a different skin. So like I don't, that was one I was really hoping for, something like huge, like, oh my gosh, it's happening, and that we didn't get that. I think that was my thing.
Remember, it's not Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, and I have to get that right every time I say it because you're talking about almost 20 years of difference if you don't. So,
But it's like it's all the same. Like every year, it's the Call of Duties are all the same game, pretty much, just different things happening inside of them.
I kind of like this one. I think I'll Summer Game Pass it. I mean, not Summer Game, but I think I'll Xbox Game Pass it. I will
It's not
buy it.
coming out on Game Pass. They're removing it from game.
Oh,
The
that's
Call of Duty's not
right.
getting. Yeah,
That's
yeah, and
right. That's right.
and they,
That's right.
yeah, and they said as far as like returning to exclusives go, it's on a case by case basis. It's not
Yes.
everything. It's
No.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like
Well, they still got to run a business, and they don't have an install base, Josh, to
no,
work with.
yeah, I absolutely understand that. I just like it. The exclusivity thing doesn't really bother me as much as it bothers other people. But I don't know. I guess I was hoping for a little bit more. Like I said, I'm at like a 7 out of 10 on it, I think.
I thought it was better than PlayStation State of Play. I thought it was more cohesive than Jeff Keighley's Game Fest. I thought it was better. I'm getting about 8 and 8.5 personally. I thought it was. I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. But I did like the translucent green Xbox Series X that they showcased off as well. That that
Yeah.
that sucker looks sweet. They didn't tell us about Project Helix at all, or
Yeah.
another handheld or anything like that. They just showcased that in honor of the 25th anniversary. Would have been nice if it was bundled with GTA 6 or something like that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it does look nice. It does look nice, Josh.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, it is cool. You get like Halo's coming out in July. So I mean, we're like less than a month away from that. So that's cool.
Absolutely. That new Xbox, the translucent green Xbox, will be coming out in November, right
Yeah.
in time for the holidays, of course. So go ahead if you're interested in, get ready to fork over some dough for that one. But again, those are our thoughts on the major points of the not E3, should be E3, but isn't E3 time period. If you have thoughts on who won and who lost this time period, please let us know. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. And again, I know Nintendo has their own showcase that's coming up tomorrow as we record this, and we'll go ahead and make sure we update you on that on a future show as well, indeed. But Josh, 9 minutes left, my friend. You had something to surprise me. Is it a MCU review, or what are we talking about before we head on out?
Oh, sorry, it was my house rant. I thought that's what I added. But
Oh, okay.
you
Okay.
know what we
All
can
right.
talk about is
Okay.
we can talk about the what well, I mean, I guess I kind of want to pick your brain on like what do you want to see out of a Nintendo Direct tomorrow?
That's a good question because I'm not motivated to get a Switch 2 either. I
But
think
what okay,
for
ideally,
Super
okay.
Smash, maybe a new Mario platformer, and we're gonna see Zelda, of course. They just lean on the same properties time in, time out. And again, if you're tired, as I am, or a little fatigued of Mario and Zelda, it's just I don't think it's really gonna be able to be something for me because again, they know where their bread is buttered, Josh. They know
Mhm.
where it's buttered. So if it's not your flavor of butter, then you're going to be watching a few of that. Plus, you'll be watching a whole bunch of Japanese RPGs, as far as turn-based games as well, which is great, which is fine. But again, I I'm not a big fan of the Nintendo Switch in the first place. For me, it wasn't something I'm adapted to. Nintendo's just been never been a home really of good shooters,
Yeah.
story-based shooters, story-based games that I really enjoy and really like into. I'm into 007 First Light now, and it's fantastic. It's the control scheme is a little wonky for me as far as when you're hand-to-hand combat, but outside of that, I'm just taking my time with this story, and I'm really digging it as far as the birth of James Bond, how so to speak, as that super spy that we all know and love. So that's what I'm really into, and I just don't see those type of games. Well, they do eventually land on Nintendo Switch or Switch 2, but that's after the fact. I don't see them on them originally. I don't see them create those type of stories very much for those platforms. So Nintendo, again, I don't want to say they left me behind, but after the Wii, it's just they kind of left me behind. But Wii U, Nintendo Switch 2, I mean, there's Pokemon, of course. We're gonna have some Pokemon of something that's gonna be shown, but it seems derivative, but it works. It works. But the thing is, how much longer will it work for? And I think it still will work for a long time to come.
Okay, so what would have to be talked about to get you interested in a Switch 2?
That's a good question. I
I
would
know we
think
had
it'd
this
have to.
talk. Yeah, we've had this talk before, like way back in Super BS. But tell me give me an updated perspective.
I'd like to see something like we see out of 007 First Light or an Uncharted. I'd like to see or Tomb Raider. If let's say tomorrow that we didn't know, let's just say we did the Doctor Strange wipe, and we didn't know that the Amazon is going to be bringing out two different Tomb Raider games, etc., etc. What if they brought a Tomb Raider style game to the Nintendo Switch 2? That would get me interested. That would get
Mm.
me going as far. And of course, they are going to bring it to, but it's available on other platforms. But what if it was an exclusive, a unique non-cartoon kitty looking game that I can resonate with, that looks like something in the modern era. I mean, when you break down the Marios and the Zeldas and the Pokemons, the reason why they can make them so good, and they resonate with so many people, is because people are willing to let things go when it comes to the look and the aesthetics of it. They just won't care about the gameplay and how fun it is, and they are the best. They're the best at that. Nintendo is best at providing you gameplay and aesthetics as far as it's concerned. And they never worry about high-end, cutting-edge graphics or anything of that nature. But I think that's what I want. That's what I want. I want something that I can appeal, that I can immerse myself in, that I would enjoy and would be able to go ahead and encounter. But I don't see it. I just don't see anything that grabs me. For my Nintendo Switch at home or the Nintendo Switch 2, I'll probably never buy.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I have a Nintendo Switch too. I play Mario Kart World on it quite a bit, but I don't it's not exactly like a go-to for me. And I think about tomorrow's direct. Like granted, like we just found out about this thing today. Like I don't know what I would want, if anything, to drive me towards playing the Switch too. Like yeah, I mean, a Mario Odyssey 2 would be great because for some reason they keep not going towards like a mainline Mario entry. And what Mario Odyssey came out, what year was it? It was 2006, 2018, I
I
think.
believe so. I believe
Yeah.
so.
They keep avoiding going back to a mainline Mario. We've had so many Zelda remakes. Like I I wonder if like Switch 2 sales are down not just because it's expensive, but because like pretty much everything available, like what what games are driving people to the Switch 2? And I don't really think there are any right now. Because
No.
even Star Fox, like I don't think people really care about. Like it was weird that they decided to bring back Star Fox because I don't think people really care about Star Fox anymore, outside of like he was in Mario Galaxy.
Yep. And again, I just want something that appeals to me, and they don't need to. They're not going to appeal to me. I'm not the audience that they're looking for, and nor should they do so. But it would be nice if I could see something that they make originally that appeals to me and the type of games I like to play. And I just don't see it. And again, they're just the third person or first person narratives. They just are not really into at Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, and you have another thing too is that like gaming games are so expensive, especially Nintendo Switch 2 games are coming out at like the more often than not they're hitting that $80 price point. So I mean, what what are you putting out that's driving people to pay money for that, Like a um it's definitely an economic thing now. It's not just a good games versus bad games. It's a can I afford to be a Switch 2 player at this point?
I agree, and that goes for all the consoles. They're not the only ones worried about higher prices and their gaming audience, and pricing their gaming audience out of purchasing or buying multiple games or buying a Switch 2 at all. It's
Yeah.
also PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, since the PlayStation had its huge hike, there has been sales concerns, and that's just a natural. I mean, and Xbox, why are part of the reason why they're so relevant? They're so non-relevant in the gaming industry as far as a console manufacturer is concerned, is the fact that they just don't sell consoles because A, they didn't promote it well, and B, they didn't price it well either after they
Yeah.
raised it twice. So
Yeah, and now you're paying like almost just as much as a Xbox or PlayStation for a console that's not as powerful as either of those. So it's a they're not in a good. I feel like they're doing right now what Xbox had done since the start of this generation.
and what hurts the most is that I saw the handheld, the Rogue LIX. They just introduced in development that they're going to bring out pretty soon a Rogue LIX with an OLED screen. I
Mm.
was like, yeah, but they have to attach their glasses to it. Asus has to attach their stupid glasses to it. So now it's going to like cost $2,000. I'm just like, forget it.
Oh, jeez, of course.
Forget it.
Yeah.
So again, thank you so much for watching and listening. It is Josh the Great Peterson. Go ahead and check him out today on Humanica Media, Plucky Gamer, and of course everywhere he's at, including right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos and my stuff as well. Lakers Fast Break, Lakers Latest, and more right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos indeed. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.